Hey everybody, welcome over to my channel for Truth Tuesday with me and Lisa. All right.
The first half we were talking about, Sean kept talking about the monarch.
The monarch.
I talked about it some, but if the first half you want to go check out what we were talking about on my channel, if you're watching this back, it might catch you up on a few things.
But also crush the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to both our channels. And after this goes live, make sure you leave a comment so that you're registered to win yourself some crypto. All right.
Yeah, thank you, JDO.
Yeah, the 9/11
Somehow
thing,
this is
weird through history. That number popped up quite a lot. I always thought that was very, very odd. I did. I wonder why Porsche picked 911 for the car. I'm sure I learned about it on field trips there. But yeah, okay.
Not all of my show is about the royals, Daddy-O. If you watch the whole...
Jesus' real birthday was 9/11? I don't think so.
Some people believe that.
It was in April.
No, that's Easter.
You know that because of the thing, the merging of the two, the pagan and Christianity. But I think if you look at when that they had to make the trip for the Caesar did that thing where they had to make the trip
for taxes.
You had to go back to where you were from, and then Mary had to do it. She was super pregnant, but they had to do it anyway. We should check on that. We could talk about it next week. But yeah, all right. Yo from Boston. September 24th. Well, and my son's traveling. He's going up to Liberal Land in Seattle, and
oh gosh,
yeah, and then they're staying there a couple of days for a wedding, and then flying back on the 25th, 24th.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll be saying extra prayers for him.
Worst possible time.
Worst possible time to be going there.
Yeah. It's weirding me out a little bit, but all right. Hey Jay, good to see you here. Good to see Crypto with all you. Just hi, Daddy-O, all y'all, Mr. Oldfang.
Yeah, all the
bring all up on the screen because there's so many
people are here.
So what else do you want to talk about with the money? If you can,
where should we start, my love? So what we're talking about on my show is what Andy had talked about. Andy Sheckman. I had Andy Sheckman on last Tuesday, and he is an owner of Miles Franklin Mint. He's one of the 27 approved mints that are allowed to mint coinage or whatever in the US. And there's this very strange missing amount of silver where the books don't add up, where it's coming, I guess, from the treasury, but it's not showing up, or off the COMEX, but not showing up in the mints. And it's well, where is it? Where are those 1,000-ounce bars? And so they've started this whole...
Oh yeah, you were telling me about the giant bars.
Yeah. So, and that's what the coins or the blanks are made out of. And so I started asking him, I was like, could the government be taking those? And then Bix picked up on where they're moving all these HR CEOs, C-level, C-suite people into position of covering or running all the mints globally. Well, you don't put the C-suite HR person in position of running them of any company unless you're shutting it down, typically, or handling something. That's the handler. This when the HR C-suite comes in. So it's very strange. They just had the Perth Mint just brought in the HR person to run the mint there. We have our Ventris Gibson. That's
Perth is Australia, isn't it?
that's running the mint for us here. You know, Yellen's putting out some weird videos where she's all happy talking about coin collections and like when she was a little girl, and I'm like, she's a little creepy. Like, I've never seen her smile like that, and I don't know. It's very odd stuff going on.
Very, very odd.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been saying, precious metals and crypto for a long time.
Yeah,
And I always include lead in my precious metals.
absolutely. Yeah, you need to be able to take care of your family
It's weird.
in
It's weird
every way.
hearing people like normies, I guess. Not even because they're not normies. They're fringe people. But they're like, oh my god, 1,000 rounds of ammunition. What for? Like, dude, that's
Do you know how quick you can go through that just at
yeah.
the practice range? I mean,
You could go out and shoot, a couple hundred, just
yeah,
having fun, shooting
yeah,
cans.
in a day, like in a couple hours.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's like,
it's very expensive to
or
do
when the
that.
police, find an armory or ridiculous amount, like 7 guns. 7? That's one closet. What are you talking about? That's
Yeah.
7 guns. And everyone has asked me, like, why do you need so many guns? Like, why do you need so many pairs of shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Because you like them and you think they're cool.
Right.
You need like 3 or 4 pairs of shoes.
So
You need
could
like
a
3 or 4
gun
guns.
be considered a security if you bought it and then sold it later and it was worth more?
Yeah, and my Ted especially, and well, both of them video games they do that. That's specific.
Oh,
They'll buy
okay.
3 copies because they want to sell 1 or 2 of them later. And it does. It goes up ridiculously in
What
value.
about all that
Guns.
ammunition that the IRS bought? Because I know they bought it like really early on, and now it's worth so much more because the
Well,
prices of ammunition went up. So
yeah, but
is that a securities
if
now?
that market manipulation too.
Oh, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if hey, because also they have the authority to manipulate the market. If even if you're Bill Gates or whoever, you're super rich, you can't go to all the manufacturers of ammo and say, hey, I want 300 million rounds from each of you, and I want it to be front run instead of in front of everyone else. You can't do that, but the government can do that. The government can say, hey, we want 100 million rounds of this, we want 100 million rounds of that.
And
And
you have
then
to give it to us first to cause a
exactly all
shortage.
of the retail purchasers, they get bumped down. The government orders have to be filled first. That's part of the agreement that they have. Whether it's law or not, I don't know. But I know that's one of the biggest things that the ammo manufacturers were complaining about to people during the shortage. Like, hey, we have to do these first because we're government contracted.
But was that only under the emergency? Because now Sleepy Joe said we're not under emergency anymore.
I don't know, but I don't think so because I think that's just part of the contract. It's like you put in your, government contracts, you put in your bid. I think part of the contract is just like, hey, if we have an emergency order, we put an order that we want, you have to fill our order first before you fill Walmart or you fill, other people.
Hmm.
So just by putting that in a regular contract, you can manipulate the market massively.
Hmm. Well, I'm sure they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, that's like why Social Security bought like hundreds of millions of rounds of ammunition.
Oh, so the IRS and Social Security.
Yeah, Social Security bought like so much. They were one of the biggest driving forces of the shortage in the beginning. And everyone's like, why? I mean, Social Security has a police force, but it's like a big city's police force. It's not enough to justify all the ammunition that they bought. Um, And now what's a little scary is that all these like the Food and Drug Administration and EPA and all that, they're buying all those submachine guns that they already bought ammunition for. And everyone's like, why are you buying all this ammunition? Why are you buying all the ammunition? They bought the ammunition first. Now they're buying all the submachine guns for it, which is weird.
That is strange. Which means they always had the plan to buy the guns, right?
Yeah, they did. I just thinking about it. They bought the ammo under Obama, and they didn't buy the guns until the former vice president was in.
Interesting.
It is interesting. They didn't buy the gun. They didn't try to buy the guns under Trump. That is never thought about that, but yeah.
Hmm.
I heard the Vatican is doing something by the end of this month. Yes, they are. They've already done it, actually.
Yeah, they've already announced. Well, they've been doing it. It's been a process where they've been not only releasing artifacts, but they've been demanding liquidity back to the Vatican.
Yep, no later than 30th of September.
I heard the 29th.
Yeah.
Just didn't saying the 30th, but
Ukraine's gonna have an extra $300 billion to buy weapons. They're paying us over there. You want to go over to Ukraine? You can. They'll pay you.
No, the little guys at the little Mexican place we eat at. There were some of the cool cars that we see out there were missing, and the manager's like, "Oh yeah, well they pay them to go to Ukraine to fight, and like missionaries, And so they're gone, but they'll be back. And mercenaries,
not missionaries, very different.
Sorry, it's sort of like missionaries.
Yeah.
But
the Christians just fainted. What?
What did I send my child on this summer? Yeah. What I just signed him up for?
Hey, the missionaries are here. Wait, no. It's the mercenaries. Close the gate. I was wrong. Yeah.
It's been a long day. Yeah. Yes, distant. You're probably right. 29th or 30th depends on what time zone you're in. Yes, it's a crazy thing to think about. Gosh, Tuesdays just do it to me. I'm so brain dead.
People in your Mexican restaurant went to Ukraine?
Yeah, some of the guys went to fight because they could make a bunch of money, and then they came back and.
Yeah, they're giving Russia the sanctioned fund. They're giving them the sanctioned fund.
Well, but then I also watched a thing with some of our local politicians and had the creepy lighting, like Creepy Joe's thing, which surprised me. I was like, who set this up? Who is in charge of this recording? Because it had that weird dark and backlit thing.
It's odd how they don't hide shit anymore, and that is very weird to me.
It was super weird. And then she's literally saying, you guys are mad at me for us sending money over there, but you know that they're spending it on our own contracts. We're paying ourselves. She's literally explaining how they're laundering money over there through contracts.
I want to show y'all something when it comes to not hiding stuff anymore. Here we go. I gotta share my screen. This is our money.
And I did.
Our new money that we have now. Where is it? Share screen.
Where'd you find this?
A friend of mine on Facebook, DeSalvo posted it.
That's rainbow currency. It's also monopoly money.
Yes, it's matching the monopoly money. Exactly.
But that's when people talk about Nasera, that's rainbow currency.
But that's it. It literally, it's like they're not. And I have friends that have called crypto my monopoly internet money. But this, I mean, like they don't care. Well, if you were to look at things through, wow, geez, we have 400 people in the viewing. That's a lot. Remember,
please go back and watch my show.
If this goes live, make sure you put a comment. So you're registered to win crypto. All you got to do is subscribe and leave a comment afterwards, and you're registered to win crypto. When I do the either the crypto lunch break or the meme review, And also, you can go back to Lisa's channel and watch that part.
Watch the
Like,
first
subscribe.
half of the show.
Make sure you hit the like button. But I thought this was just insane how they don't care. And if I was thinking when I saw the former vice president give the speech, I always try to think things either in terms of explaining it to an alien, um, or to like a child, or to look at things like through history. I can, I mean, when you look at like Hitler's speeches and Mussolini and that kind of stuff, it's like so obvious. If you look at that speech and you think about it through like history's eyes, imagine someone watching this 20, 30, 50 years down the road. They'll be like, oh, obviously this is a dictator who's taking over the country. Look at it, you know. And people, they don't. Everybody makes excuses for everybody, and everyone does it. All Trump supporters make excuses for Trump all day. So you have to say sometimes he says shit that's fucked up. I think he's kind of an asshole. I think Obama is a
Oh,
much nicer guy.
I'm not saying he's not.
I always said,
I would never want him after me.
yeah,
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be on
I
the
used to
wrong
say
side
all
of
the
him.
time that if I had a barbecue, I think that Obama would be a much nicer guest.
Oh
And I think that
no.
if I said I didn't like Trump's tie, that he would make fun of my mother on Twitter.
Yes,
But when
he
it comes to being
would.
a president, yeah, I would
Or being
definitely,
alone with your children, you're probably safer with Trump.
but being a president, which is what the job was, be him. You know,
Yeah, Trump was a way better president. Look what he did for our country.
yeah, just I think Obama made a good stand-up comedian, and Trump
Yes.
would make a good heckler. That's
Yes. Perfect.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's good.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, when it comes to like we've talked about this, like they don't care. When I saw like Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly doing about their weird blood sex magic, just there's so many things
Well,
that
but and I also think if you go back to like Trump or Obama or whatever, look at old Poopy Pants right now, former vice president. Uh, Is he really in charge? What's really
no,
happening?
he's not.
Who's really in charge? So does it matter who the president is? Because who's really in charge?
It does matter who the president is because
I
he
don't
he
think
is
we
in
have a
charge.
clue.
He is in charge, but he's controlled,
He's
and that's the thing. I don't think that people could control someone that was in 100% in control of their own faculties.
yes,
You know what I
Jim
mean?
Montgomery.
So, uh, yeah. I mean, imagine if he stood up and just was like, no, hey, these people want me to do these things. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. If he just said it, no, I'm the president. You can't have it. And he does have these moments where if you hear him on the phone on leak stuff, that when he thinks no one can hear him,
He acts more cognizant.
he is not nice and
Hmm.
friendly. He is Goodfellas kind of hardcore. You know,
What do you mean, pony face dog soldier boy or whatever he called that one guy? I'll take you outside right now.
yeah, he's. I don't. I think his stuff goes in and out because he's freaking old. He's very very old. Um, I still can't believe that the brand new king is 70. Oh man,
You have a skewed view on what's old. I don't think that's so old.
I think I'm old.
You are not old.
I'm pretty old.
You are not.
I'm so old.
My dad lived to be 90. I'm going to be at least 90. I'm not going to
My
like it
biological
probably,
father,
but
I found out, is still alive.
oh God, I don't want to even know where mine is or if he's alive.
My mom died when she was like 64.
Oh,
I think, yeah.
well, that's pretty young though.
Yeah, that's what people say.
I mean, like my mom's 75 and until she started falling a bunch because she was tripping over things, not because she was incapable, just she's clumsy and we had people moving into her house and she fell on things. But she was like out in the garden, moving things, like very capable, traveling with me, all kinds of stuff at 75.
My
Like
dog
if
is
you can
29.
have, that's right. If you can have that kind of quality of life, then, I want to stick around and meet my grandkids. I want to see this
Yeah.
thing through. I want to watch people thrive. I think we're going to have a good side, and I want to see it.
I've had a rough time with some of that the last week. I've been missing my mother a lot. I think I told you this. Yeah, I did tell you. I text you. Because I never had like the adult friend relationship with her,
Oh,
which I think I could now because I've had enough life experiences and all. Um, to where she would like accept me as more of an equal, because she was she had a doctorate, she had masters, and she was always very education was like super important to her. Um, but I think that I have enough knowledge where I could have like conversations with her about stuff that she thinks would be intellectually cool. Um, and then like my son who passed, I keep thinking about him, and because I see his friends and what they're even the really screwed up ones, they're got their crap somewhat together now and
yeah.
have families and whatnot, and then my nephew Tony, who passed away with like about a year and a couple months ago.
Man, just talk to her. I'm not kidding. Cannon and I were doing homework, and he was getting frustrated with me for pushing him about doing his research on Jupiter because he picked Jupiter, and he wanted me to give him the answers for it. And I was like, no, if we're going to learn how to research, so we're going to look at our different research. So we had just different books, a couple different books on space. And then I was like, you can also use your computer, but I'm going to give you like the tools. How are we going to look this up? And so he's like looking this up, and my computer's sitting over here. No one's touching it. I'm not on it. No one's on it. And he and I are kind of jabbing each other. And all of a sudden, iTunes kicks on, and it's the playlist for Mia's adoption video that I created back when we had her. So when we adopted her, we had gone through 18 months with one judge, and then at the last minute we got a new judge, and he's like, oh yeah, come on in here, I'll let you adopt her. And I was like, oh no, you're hearing the whole story, dude. Like
Did I tell you about
we've been through
Ezra?
hell and back. No, I'll let you tell me about him in just a sec.
Okay.
So I have to finish telling you this story really quick. So it starts with Mia's adoption video thing kicking on, and her playlist plays, and I said, see, she's trying to talk to us, like she's reminding us, because the song is hope you never grow up, stay this little. And so I was like, okay, slow down, Lisa, it's about spending time together. So I got my mind right. So I was like, okay, let's do something fun with this. And then he started talking to me about how much he missed her. And I started sharing with him that, like, when I miss her a lot, I ask her to come visit me in my dreams. And I say, and she'll come, and I can hold her and
I wish
be
that
with her.
it happened to me like 2 or 3 times. That's it.
Oh,
Parents talk to me that I talk about that with. It's very vivid. It's very powerful.
It's very real. It doesn't happen all the time, but it
like
does
3 times,
happen
man. Yeah.
sometimes. And when it does, it's very healing.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that. And literally right after that, a song comes on I've never heard before called Ridin' with the King. Then after that, it was Free by who is that? I'm Free by, I don't know, some country guy. And it was like it, and then it was Hello by Adele. I was like, Kanan, are you kidding? Like, she's telling you, when we're having these conversations, I'm like, she's telling you I'm in heaven. Oh, and then it said Dreamland. She's telling you, talk to me in my dreams. She's telling me, call me. I've been waiting for you 1,000 times. Like, all this stuff. Like, I believe we are frequency, and I believe we can talk to each other through frequency, through this earth and heaven. And I think they don't want us to know that.
I think dreams are part of that connection, though.
They would love for you to not know that you're magic.
Yeah, that we're the basic thing, which should blow everyone's mind, is that the sun is made up of the same thing that your body's made up of. Exact. There's no difference. We're all
Interesting.
made of the same material. We're made of star stuff. But um, speaking of that, I watched some stuff on Pluto, which I thought was really weird because our camera went out there, and it finally went through by Pluto, and the biggest moon is almost as big as Pluto itself, and they're in a perfectly synchronous orbit. Like they don't
Really?
spin. Like if you stand on Pluto and look right here, it'll never
Uh,
change. It doesn't move because the one moon moves the same as Pluto does, but Pluto doesn't spin. It spins around something. There's a little part of space that it goes around and around and around. It doesn't spin around. It goes around, and then this other moon goes around with it. And then there's these little like tiny moon chunks, but they're only like 10 miles apart or across. So I thought that was really weird. And there's a heart on Pluto.
I've never heard that. I
It's
wonder
a
if that's why they made Pluto, why they were so hell bent on making Pluto not a
it's
planet
not
anymore.
it's not
It's
like
a dwarf planet
it's
now.
not vague. It's a giant. Like up by the pole, it's a huge, almost a third of the planet is a giant heart shape. It's
Interesting.
it's it's made of nitrogen ice. Um,
JDO, if you have a way to contact me either through Twitter or leave me a message or send me an email through my YouTube channel, I have somebody that might be able to help you.
yeah, GDO. It's a. I always was very jealous of parents that would tell me about their kids visiting their dreams because you could literally. I've always dreamt in color, and I've always been able to like control my dreams. Like I've even as a child, like I know I'm dreaming. It's weird when people tell me they don't know they're dreaming or that they dream in black and white. But so when it happens, it's like, oh my god, Robert, you're here, and I can have like a conversation. It was very healing and very cool. And then you're terribly depressed when you wake up. But there is something you can do. My best friend told me about the one I named Robert after. He said he has a dream journal, and that if you wake up, as soon as you wake up, write down what you dreamt about. Just anything just write it down. You have to write it down.
Hmm. Before you get out
Forget it
of bed and out of that.
because
Yeah.
your subconscious mind forgets it. So when you write it down, it
Hmm.
puts in your conscious mind, and that you're able to connect better to your dreams.
Oh,
But he
interesting. I hadn't
he
heard
was
that.
literally trying to do what
I
I
just
did
know I
too.
forget.
That he could. Yeah, I do too. I do too. I when he actually told me that, I started to like record on my phone. I hit record, and I would just tell myself, and I didn't write it down, and I like went back a couple of years, like a year or so later, and I listened to it. And I was like, oh wow, that's really cool, but I can't remember the dream at all. But
Wow.
I'm telling myself it.
Yeah.
Um, but I need to tell you this.
Oh gosh, hurry because I
I
gotta
know
go.
it's very important. So my Autumn,
Yes.
and she had 400 people. We had 500 people watching.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Thank you guys for watching.
Crush the like button. So my niece Autumn, who had my her son had the heart attack, and he had the meningitis and all that. He was in the hospital. She was going through the terrible time. We talked about it. She told me that she really, and I talked to Robert about it. And I, like prayed and I asked Robert to look out for them.
Good.
And she told me, I didn't tell her. She told me that she really felt Robert like at the hospital. She felt Robert all the time. And then I told her, I was like, what happened? So the other day, she told me that Toby, very difficult child, by the way, let me tell you, this kid is rough. He is rough. Um, but
He tries to scare people.
he, he's just very, like, he doesn't listen to her very well. He listens to other people, but very, like the terrible twos, he's holding on to them. And he's going through them hard.
Hmm.
But he's in his room, and she said he's always like talking and playing. And she asked him, "Who are you talking to?" He said, I'm playing with the robber." And then she thought he has like cops and robbers or something. And then she said something about robber, and he goes, "No, he's my friend. He's my ghost friend, Robert."
Hmm.
And he's never.
So kids are in theta. If you watch Bruce Lipton, kids are in theta till they're 7, and their like brain waves are different. Like it's scientifically proven about their brain waves being different and all that. And they say that's how they can imagine things and see things seem more real. I
Mhm.
think it's all that frequency stuff. I think they're still connected to heaven and less like I don't think it's that they are less connected to reality. I think we are less
Less
connected to
connected to reality.
they may have the reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that, I love you guys. I gotta go.
So yeah,
Um,
we're gonna, I guess, end it.
please go
We
back
have
and
seconds.
watch the first
Yeah,
half
make sure
on
you
my
subscribe.
channel.
Leave a comment after this goes live.
Leave a
So you're
comment
registered to
here
win
on
crypto.
Sean's.
Win crypto. We'll leave a comment and read and subscribe. Head over to Lisa's. Watch first half. Love y'all. It was good hanging out with you. Love
Take
you,
care.
Lisa. I will see
Bye.
you
Love
guys
you.
later.
Bye.